conscious discipline and our time together. Today we're talking about the sixth power for adults in the conscious discipline philosophy. The power of acceptance, which reminds us the moment is as it is. Relax and solve your problem. Now, how many of you listening, now this is going to be rhetorical, but I still want you to think about it. How many of you listening would like to be able to give and receive empathy, kindness, compassion without that sense of sacrifice? How many of you would like to set limits on children's behavior that teach responsibility and respect instead of backtalk and power struggles? How many of you would like to set and achieve goals based on an internal desire and hard work instead of some kind of tangible reward you're going to get at the end from someone else? And finally, how many of you would like to sustain relationships with communication skills that draw you closer to people, make you feel more understood and understanding instead of distance and judgment? Now, my guess is, certainly all of you, and I know my answer would be yes, 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 yes. And it is all possible, and it requires willingness. And the willingness that's required is to let the moment be as it is. It requires acceptance. Now, conscious discipline is a comprehensive social and emotional self-regulation program that teaches adults and children how to manage their thoughts, manage their feelings, and manage their behavior. It's based on acceptance. We must accept the thoughts that come through our head instead of latch onto them. We must accept the feeling of disappointment that comes up in a moment instead of trying to distract from it. We must accept the behaviors or events that happen in life so that we can respond to it. It's based on neuroscience and a brain state model that demonstrates that our optimal state for learning, life success, for anything, for well-being, is integration. Now, integration is linking differentiated parts together. So whether you're linking the separate organs in our body into one giant human system, whether you are linking the neurons in our brain into one giant control center, that integration is essential. Or whether you're linking differentiated ecosystems throughout the world into one whole so that we all can survive, integration is essential. Or even whether you're linking differentiated personalities at work into one integrated, efficient system, or even in school, where you're integrating different children with different personalities, different needs, and you link them together into one integrated school family. Integration is the key to change. You must have integration before you can transform. You must have integration before you have a choice to make a change. You must have integration to transform any interaction, and you must have it for well-being. Now, the key to integration is acceptance. Acceptance is the non-judgmental acknowledgement and awareness of the present experience. Now, this isn't our strong suit, so let me just tell you. Acceptance isn't a strong suit, and it shouldn't be like this, this shouldn't be happening, they should have called me yesterday, so we're not real good at that one. And also, the present moment is not our specialty. You know what happened last week, you know what's going on. So we tend to have our minds thinking about the past, thinking about the future, missing the present. So both of those, even though I said this is the key, acceptance gets integration, integration equals well-being, we're like, hey, yay, done, we're finished. Well, it's not quite that simple, but it does require that willingness on our behalf. Without the power of acceptance, we can't access the skill of empathy. And what we end up doing is avoiding, dismissing, punishing feelings instead of being present with them and teaching children how to manage them. watch this video about the hamster dying and see if you can relate to how your emotional states were negated as the moment they came in was negated.
Mom.
Oh, honey. Hi.
Mom.
Ooh,
The hamster died.
yeah. Charlie died. We'll get another one. We'll get you another one. We'll get you another one. You know what? I know exactly who's got more, okay?
But
we have to get another one. We have to do this. We have to get another one. I'm going to fix this for you. We'll get another one, okay? Yeah, it's just, yeah.
it's a little bottom.
Yeah, that's what they do, and they get stiff. Yeah, you probably noticed that. Yeah, we'll take care of it. You know what? I'll have your dad take care of it. I don't want to touch him. I don't want to touch him. It's not a big deal, sweetheart. It's not a big deal. Hamsters, they come and go. They're like a dime a dozen. Didn't we just talk about this? You take no responsibility for things. Look at this. Look at, who puts your clothes away every day? You take no responsibility for anything. No wonder he died. Charlie, that rodent you have in your room.
No, Charlie,
he
died.
Yeah.
I just found him. He's in the room. He's laying there. He just like he was.
Okay. Can you take these back to your room when you go, and then you can take care of that. Just wrap him in here. Just wrap him in there. That would be great. Okay.
Make it better. You gotta do something. Charlie's dead.
Yeah, Charlie's dead. And that's really hard. You love Charlie so much.
I love Charlie.
You were so good with Charlie, too.
He would go around his little thing.
You did, yeah.
He'll never do it again.
When you're ready, we'll decide what's best for parting with Charlie. And we're going to get through this together. We are. You're not alone. You're not alone.
You'll be there for me.
Yes. In fact, we're going to be there right now together. Let's go right now, and we'll take care of little Charlie.
Okay, Mom. Let's go.
If you're like me, for most of my life, I've struggled against life. I've struggled against my body. I've struggled against things I don't like with other people. I've struggled against politics, school policies, everything. Mostly I kind of struggled with my own body. In high school, it was my nose. I was just obsessed with, I needed a new nose. Then all through my life, I've been obsessed with my thighs. They're wrong. And now it's my weight, which is just not right. And so we tend to resist what is, and it's like, why on earth would I struggle so much with life? Why would I go against all that is and say, this moment that's happening right now is not good enough? How I am is not good enough. Now, where would this notion come from? Well, if I'm truthful with myself, I'll say, I really don't believe in acceptance. Now, that's like a crazy thing to say, but somehow in my mind I've got this notion that if I truly accepted something, then I wouldn't be positively motivated to make a change. And so I confused acceptance with resignation. So if you accept it, well, there you go, we're just going to rape and pillage. And then I had another notion that if I truly was accepting of something, I'm condoning it. I'm saying, great, I'm glad the children are hungry and we rape women. Go for it. And so we've confused acceptance, that non-judgmental awareness and acknowledgement of what is, with resignation. It's going to always be like that. And with condoning it, like, I agree, yay, go for it. And that's just not true. But where on earth did this come from? And so I believe it came from how we were disciplined. We were disciplined with negation, really. And so let me give you an example of this. So I'm going to hold up this bag, and all of y'all can see the bag. I'm going to stand over here, and what I'm going to do is simply drop the bag. Now, you're going to say, instead of approaching life like this, Becky, the bag's on the floor, pick it up and put it on the table. This was not how we were approached. This is not how we typically, parents and teachers, they go, where should that bag be? Where should that bag be? And we're like, on the counter? In your hand? So it's approached from, it's not where it's supposed to be, as opposed to accepting the fact it is and saying simply, pick it up, put it on the counter. Where should it be? What should you have done? You know better than this. And we go at life with this struggling, resisting what is, and I think that's how it got distorted in our heads. So somehow, through all that resistance, we learned resistance equals change. And if you just look historically, resistance doesn't equal change. It equals stagnation. What you resist persists. So at any given moment, we have two choices. One, we can negate it. This shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be like this. I can't believe it's like this. Or we can accept, oh my gosh, look at the situation we're faced with. I've got to be at work at 7:30 and my child is there standing in a diaper with no shoes. And my eldest one is still asleep. Now instead of going, this shouldn't be, this should never be, they know I have to be at work at 7:30, it shouldn't happen like this. I simply go, oh my gosh, it is as it is. Relax and solve my problem. So what happens when we negate the moment we're in? We're saying that all that's happening right now is not good enough. We negate not only ourselves, but we negate everyone in that moment. Saying, I, it, this, you are not good enough. So listen to what we're doing. Where should you be? I.e., you stupid, stupid child. And ask this to a child, especially young ones. Where should you be? And they go like this. Right here? Here I am. See? Here I am. It's baffling to them. Or if we say, this is another way we negate. Through denial, we say, here comes a child running. There's no running in this house. Well, hello. It just happened. Yes, there is. Or, there's no screaming. Well, yes, it is. So we're trying to discipline, move through life through negation and denial. Now, here's what happens when we do that. If we choose negation, first, like I said, we negate ourselves and everybody in that moment, saying this is not good enough. If I was queen and king of the universe, I would have orchestrated this thing entirely different. But this moment right now is not not worthy, and it's not good enough. The second thing is, that creates unmanageable and chronic stress. How are you going to change the universe? So that chronic stress moves us into a reactive style of communicating, a reactive style of dealing with our children. And we get focused on immediate behavior things. I'll do whatever it takes, you will go to bed. And we don't care about the skill we're teaching. I'll scream and yell and hit you to teach you to be respectful. So it gets crazy. And it transforms our perception so we see the worst in people. And the last thing it does, and the reason that what I just told you happens, is it activates the anterior cingulate cortex in the brain. Okay, so now a little brain lesson. So we're going to do the brain hand. So if you have out there with me, you're going to do this with me. So you have your hand up here. And just using a simple brain model with your hand is this part down here would be the brain stem, the survival systems. You fold in your thumb, this would be the limbic system. And you lay up on top this cortex inside. So, and this would be your frontal lobe. So if you're familiar with conscious discipline, in this prefrontal lobe right here, that's where all this integration takes place. But you have to get up there, you have to get through, am I safe, am I loved, what can I learn from this, all the way up here, so that you can have this integrated state. Now if we open this up, this is the limbic system, and right between the limbic system and right between the prefrontal lobe is the anterior cingulate, right in there. And this is almost like a gear shift in the brain. If you're driving your car and you want to go from into reverse, you've got to always go to neutral first and then into reverse. If you try to go it the other way, everybody's grinded their gears at time. So you always go to neutral. Well, neutral is that accepting state. For those of you who are going to receive my newsletter this month, you'll learn more about the anterior cingulate cortex, and it's called I Don't Care and the Brain. So check that out. So if we are going through life and we reject what is, or we feel rejected, it's like grinding our gears. It takes all this energy and information and throws it down into your survival state, and then we see the worst and we get reactive. Or if we get to the anterior cingulate and we accept what is, it sends it up here, energy and information up to our prefrontal lobes, integrates our brain, and voila, we're brilliant. So that's what happens. We either can go on the high road through acceptance and access our brilliance, or we can go through the low road and end up reactive. Now, if we take acceptance, we get up to the high road. So what does that give us? Well, it allows us to accept the moment as it is, which allows us to accept everyone in it, ourselves, our children, everybody in that moment gets to feel good enough. Second, we get to manage the stress of conflict, not get unmanaged by it. We get to manage it so that we can come up to these higher centers, get that integration. And it allows us a wonderful skill. Once we get to the higher centers, the high road, we get to access the skill of empathy so that we can validate the inner world of a child. You were hoping that you could stay up late. It's hard when it's 8 o'clock in bedtime. Breathe. You can handle this. As opposed to, what if I told you 100 times, you should know better than this by now. You should be in your pajamas. You should be somewhere. This should not be happening. You know I have to work tomorrow and be up at 7:30. The choice is ours. Either way, our anterior cingulate gets activated, but one, it pushes to the high road, or two, it takes us to the low road. We access the one skill I just told you about, empathy, but we also get to access another skill called noticing. So these are two core skills of conscious discipline: empathy, validating the child's perception, validating the child's experience and feelings. You seem angry. You wanted the ball, you didn't know what to say. No wonder you hit him. You have to say, it's my ball, give it back. So we actually can take moments like that and teach children these life skills, but we have to have empathy to do that. And noticing, which is just acknowledging and becoming aware of the present moment. So noticing is the key to acceptance. So what you're going to watch is a video. Now, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I can't just notice kids. What am I going to say? Oh, you picked the book up and put it on the shelf? Shouldn't I say thank you, good job, how great thou art? I mean, shouldn't there be some kind of judgment on my part? Or if you do something stupid like hit your friend, should you say, well, that wasn't nice, was it? Don't you want to be nice? Don't you want to have friends? Shouldn't I somehow tell them how wrong they are? Or tell them how great they are? What do you want me to do? Just notice them? And my answer is yes. By noticing, you see someone. How many of us have said, I want you to see me, not who you think I should be. I mean, we all scream for that. Can't you just see me? kids are always going, watch me, I'm gonna jump in the pool, see me. And we go, great jump, as opposed to, you jumped with your knees bent, your arms went up, and the splash went in the pool. And they're like, yes. So watch this video, because a lot of people say, I can't just notice them, because I would be rude. I need to judge them somehow. Watch the video that you're about to see and listen, because you will never hear me say, good job, that was wonderful, you're all so great, nor will you hear me say, you really boogered it up. So watch the video and watch me just notice kids and ask yourself, if I remove the judgment from my interaction with children and others and rely on this acceptance, accessing huge integration and well-being, is it rude, or is it just clear, helping children be successful? So watch this video.
Okay, here's what we're going to do though. We're going to do it a little bit differently, but while we do it, I want you to see if you can feel a difference, all right? If you can feel a difference. When she puts on the music, just like you did before, because you did this. You stood up, you walked very safely over. Almost all of you pushed your chair in. You pushed your chair in, you walked real safely, you didn't knock everybody down, you walked real safely, and you got to the circle. That you did. But here's what we're going to do. When you sit down at the circle, I want you to check and see if you have enough room. You can see Miss Christian. And then I want you to turn your head and check and see if all your friends have enough space. And if they don't, scoot, wiggle, scoot, wiggle, until everybody has space. Listen for the music. As soon as the music starts, that's what you're going to do. Room. Oh, more. Oh, look at this. You scooted back right off. And then you helped him even further. He went scoot, scoot. You scooted, and she waited. I'm not going to sit on my friends. I'm going to wait till there's a space. You guys slid right open. Pop, as you went right.
Did you see it? Hopefully you felt a person that was truly present with the kids. A person that really, from the depth of their soul, wanted these children to be successful and wanted to teach them. And so I don't know how we confused teaching with judging, but teaching is to demonstrate, coming from the word disciple. So we're going to take the high road and we're going to access our two skills. Noticing, which meets that need of, will you see me, not who you think I should be. And empathy, can you hear me? Do you value my inner world as much as my behavior? Do you value me? Now, a lot of people say, I wonder how we could discipline children and offer unconditional love at the same time. And just think about it. How do you do it? How do you discipline them? Which means set a limit. Say you can't do this. No, you're not going to do this. You're going to do this, etc., etc. How do you set a limit, whether at the office or with children or with your significant others? How do you set a limit and still not put conditions on love? These two skills, empathy and noticing, all coming from acceptance, which guarantee you integration, which offers well-being to the world. So here's the benefits of acceptance. And acceptance, again, is the moment is as it is. The whole universe. There's an African greeting that I love, and I can't remember the exact words to it, but when they greet each other, the meaning behind the greeting says, the whole universe got together to bring you and me to this moment so I could say hello to you. And if we could believe that about every moment, ones we call good and ones we call bad, if we could accept this is what is, this is just what is, relax and solve your problem. Here's the benefits of acceptance. It will balance your emotional regulation. It transforms how interactions unfold. It gives us flexibility because of that anterior cingulate gyrus and cortex. It allows it to, the information to become either to the high road or the low road. it offers overall well-being. It allows us to approach challenging situations instead of withdraw from them so we can solve some of the most demanding problems that we face today. It allows for empathic communication, resilience and reduced stress, increased health of all relationships, enhanced immune functioning, cellular longevity, and unconditional love. So if I can do this right, I'm going to use Mr. Spock as our ending. With acceptance, may we all live long and prosper. Until next time, I wish you well.